Hey everyone. Today I started season 2. Okay. I will continue to make videos and post them on season 1 where I address specific topics such as textbooks and others, but on this season 2 I will be interviewing other ESL teachers, asking them all the same questions, and of course during the interview other subjects will come up and I will address them. So I hope you feel as excited as I am when it comes to learning more about our jobs and in other people's perspective. I would try always to bring someone from a different country, and if they come from the same country, it will be good to have the contrast that they work in the same environment, but they probably have different views when it comes to that. So today's interview is with Ilyes Arabis. He's an ESL teacher in Algeria, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, keep it up. Here we are today with Ilyes Arabi. He's a teacher, ESL teacher in Algeria. Ilyes, thank you for coming today to my channel, and thank you for the interview.
You are the most welcome. It is a high pleasure to me, for me to be interviewed by you, Mr. Gustavo.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so I'm going to go straight to the questions, and please feel free anytime to take as long as you want to answer the questions. So the first one has to be, why did you become an English second language teacher?
Concretely, in order to give you an in-depth explanation about this question, my motives were stimulated when I was a first-year middle school student, because every Algerian learners who is between the age of 10 to 11, he will experience or learn English for the first time. So at that time, I experienced, a tremendous language. The first experience or the first impression that I got at that time, it was tremendous. I thought this is different than French, because French we used to study it when we were at primary school. And then we start in middle school, we start learning a new language, that is English. I make a comparison between English and French, and I found that English is totally different than French. English is something, tremendous, easy to explain, easy to comprehend, or whatever. Thereafter, when I finished my middle school and went to the secondary school levels, I successfully gained a certificate. We call it here in Algeria the baccalaureate exam. It is a final exam that every learners need to get or to sit for in order to go to the university. So I successfully gained that, and I chose, very specific specialty. I chose the English language teaching specialty of the university, because my goal is to become an English teacher, right? So I need to study this specialty. But after 3 consecutive years, I did not want to stop my journey at that specific period. I want to go further. And this is why I determined at that time to pursue a master's degree in didactic of English. Didactic of English is a science of teaching, which concentrates on giving methodologies that every teacher will encounter when he or she go through the field. So we studied about methodologies, classroom management, the student behavior, how to deal with them, and also the lesson plan, syllables, and so forth. And these all were practically taught by our teacher. During that time, it was very exciting, because we did not sit at the classroom and teacher tell us as a traditional way and ask us to write and so forth. No, we were practically and physically controlling the classroom. One of my former teacher, it's like a training certificate, like the PGC in the UK. We were receiving teacher training program. At that time, one of most of them, my former teachers, they told us that you are no longer a student, you are a master student who need to be well prepared for the field, the teaching field. So they gave us a program and asked us to come to the board and present the lesson to our colleagues. And it was very tremendous, very sensational. After that, I got a chance to be hired as a substitute teacher at secondary school level. And for a very short period of time, I worked as a part-time job. After that, I received another job opportunity, which is I currently teaching now, till now, because I moved to the middle school level, where I still teaching at the right moment. Till our present time, I'm still teaching now. This is what I'm referring to.
Perfect. Just one question. When you were presenting in college to other students, were you presenting in English or were you presenting in a mother tongue of the students?
No, English.
Always English.
That's interesting. The beginning, from the bachelor degree and master degree, the lesson were being instructed by using the English language. Only English. It is called didactic of English and English language teaching, not the French or other languages.
No, what I mean, like sometimes the professors in university, they tend to use to explain something in the mother tongue of the student, but not at all. All the time English. Once you got there, only English. Fantastic. Let me go to another question then. What do you think about the ESL teaching in Algeria?
You need to be more specific.
I will go straight to them. In the schools that you teach, what do you consider? How you consider the situation there?
Okay. Because I thought generally. So the situation in Algeria is getting better and better. I want to give you a specific comparison between the past and the present. In the past, and the educational authority, they focus entirely on French as a language of instruction. Because in the past, people, they did not used to speak English, even outside. They did not even know it. They just know it implicitly. There is a language that is called English, but how to use it, how to speak it frequently, they did not know. Okay, they did not know the structure of that language. They have what's called an adequate knowledge about French only, beside Arabic, of course. Arabic is a native language, and French was an extra language. So this is the situation in the past. But now, recently, the situation becomes different. People, especially this is my personal experience, whenever I enter the classroom, they become very, highly motivated, willing to learn. And when I give them a question, they will overreact. We can say they will be very excited to answer. They want to give an answer. They want to be motivated. They want to speak English. This is the reason. One of my colleagues who teach French language, she told me that pupils, because I teach the same category of students, we both teach the same students, the same pupils. They told her that we love English more than French. Really, yeah. And she told me that maybe the problem is mine, maybe the problem is the language, maybe they are intrinsically motivated, maybe they're motivated by themselves to learn the language, they love the language, or maybe they are motivated from an outside factor, which is me.
Could be. But let me ask you more specific. Even if the students are so enthusiastic and they really want to learn this world language, this lingua franca, do you think that your school provides them with all the tools that are necessary for them to learn?
The modern tools, technological materials?
Whatever tools you feel they're necessary for the teaching.
To be honest, I am the one who would bring the tools. I do an extra effort to bring the tools, but On behalf of the school administration, they are doing nothing.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah. That is unfortunately a reality in many parts of the world. So let me go to do you have a favorite method of a ESL?
I can say one of my preference methods or favorite methods is communicative language teaching, which focus entirely on the role play method. This is the first one. Why I prefer this? Because the students will use the language by themselves. They will act like the role play. They will use the language. They will communicate and sometimes leave the classroom. This is a way. This is the best way. Another thing, another method, it is called project-based learning. For example, this is totally practical things. Okay, students will, we can say, focus on particular projects, work together in groups, A, B, C, D, whatever, and then they will, work together to solve or to create the project, to make something. And then I will ask them to come to the board and present it. I did not use this later. I never used this project, but I think about it because I need time. I need because I'm restricted to the syllabus, to the time management. So I will think about to employ it for the future, for the near future. The third one that I prefer is the problem-based learning. So, for example, you can use it in writing. Okay? Learner will talk about topic. So they will discover the issue. Okay? They discover the issue, then work together in pairs or group. But I prefer in groups because this is a problem. They will think about it, set a plan. All right. What are the suggested solutions that we can make? So everyone inside the group will give his possible suggestion. Then they will think about it, combine and do the brainstorming, whatever, and then they will come up with the final solution and represent it in front of their colleagues. This is the idea. But regardless what I have said about my preferable methods and etc., you need to consider first that before you choose a method, you need to consider that each method you apply is linked to what? To learner's level, okay? Learner style, right? And classroom management, and the most importantly, this topic that you are intended to present. If you are presenting a topic that focuses on listening skills, then what we need to focus is to give them a method that fits to the listening skills, whether by using the visual aid, audio, using the freeze frame, for example, let them hear to the recording voice and stop and tell them to complete. To tell what they were talking about. I mean, if you make a conversation or dialogue between two people and stop recording and tell them what they were talking about. This is about listening. So we are going to use the devices. We are going to use a record voice. For speaking, you can use a role play, like I explained. Role play is the perfect fit to these skills, to improve the learner skills, communicative language teaching. For problem-solving, project-based learning, you need to use a writing. You need to focus on asking students to write, so they are improving their writing skills. So to come up to a comprehensible conclusion, the methods of teaching, they are all preferable. They are all beneficial, sorry. All methods of teaching, they are all beneficial. The most important, none of them is superior than the other. What we need to focus is, we need to employ or to apply a method according to the curricula, according to the syllabus, according to the lesson plan, according to the topic, according to the learners. right? Levels, style, etc.
Elias, let me continue here. Let me just make a stop. Elias, you probably have the same issue as I do sometimes with the hand. Just watch out because sometimes you hit the microphone and I can't hear. But so continue. As you said, some methods work for some activities and you need to know the classroom. So that goes straight to my next question because not every ESL teacher is that good. Not every ESL teacher is that into the game and wants to, bring the best that they can to every class. So for you, what are the essential qualities that an ESL teacher needs to have?
Of course. In order to become a teacher, you need to be qualified in every different angles. What I'm referring by angles means in different elements but related to the English subject. If you teach English subject, you need to have a complete knowledge about the subject. You need to know better about your subject. So what we're referring is, we are talking about the structure. We are talking about the grammar. You need to have an adequate vocabulary, right? You need to have communicative competencies, interpersonal skills. You need to produce. He or she needs to produce complex ideas, and at the same time, he should be flexible or simultaneously change from a complex idea that fits the higher level students, and when he encounter beginner students or second year, like middle school students who studying English for the first time, he should simplify his work. It is difficult, but a qualified teacher should know how to to change or to shift. The level. To use his words according to the learner's level. So this is the quality I'm talking about. I mentioned the vocabulary. You should have linguistic, qualifications, communicative skills. You should produce an output, right? Output, and should has an input skills. This one focusing about. So you should have a complete idea, a complete knowledge, and an authentic knowledge about his subject or her subject.
And as you mentioned before, when you went to university, you had everything in English, and there is no L1 to be used there, L2 all the time. So what do you believe that using only L2 in the classroom would help the student get more exposed to English and learn the language in a better way, or you think can be a combination there?
So L2, using the L2, absolutely will develop the learner's capacity. If the teacher, if you have seen my previous presentation on my YouTube channel, I emphasize on the use of English, it is the L2, rather than translating. I will tell you about my previous personal experience when I was a substitute teacher at secondary school. I told you about this. At the beginning, when I started explaining English, one of my pupils told me, please, sir, speak in Arabic, little bit, just one word or 3 words. I told them, no, not at all. I will use gestures, non-verbal communications, drawing. If you do not understand something, I will draw it for you. I always ask them to speak in English merely, means always. If they did not know how to speak it, I will help them. I tell, give me mistakes and I will help you. I will show you how to speak English, right? I use the non-verbal, I use the visual aids. If I use the pictures and show it to someone who never studied English before, for example, if I show you pear, the fruit pear, and show it to you, the picture, you are going to see it. So if I say pear, you're going to see, this is, in Arabic, we call it Ilyes. Right. Okay. Apple. If they show them apple, they will understand. If I hint to a book, this is called book in English. So they will make a connection between the image or between the image, the picture and the concept that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So,
but let me just stop it one second. And what if it's harder than that? What if you have to teach the present perfect? How come? Can you do that only in the L2?
I will act.
Okay.
I will act. For example, I encountered this situation because I was quarreling. I was having an argument with a co-teacher who teaches English also. She told me, okay, you are not going to translate to your students. You speak entirely in English, but explain to them this. How you are going to explain the personal features? If you say someone curious, timid, how you are going to explain this to students? You cannot show it to them by pictures. I said by making a role play, right? She told me how you are going to someone who is curious. So I will act. I will ask one of my brothers to come, and he will speak with other, and I will do like this. I'm curious to know what you are talking about. This is the meaning of curious. I'm curious to know what they are talking about. So this is the action. They will definitely understand by action, because you are not only a teacher. You can play different roles. You can be an actor, right? You can be a singer. You can be whatever, right?
Absolutely. And can students be conditioned to acquire English language skills through the repetition, through positive reinforcement? Do you think that sometimes they need to be corrected?
All right. Repetition can work with the beginner students, but the problem is it will take a lot of time, because if you tell something, if you present a grammar or present any kind of topic, whether listening or speaking, whatever, and one student told you that he or she did not understand, you are going to repeat all the formats, the setting up that you have of your grammar, the rules. So this will take time. What we are going to do, and because actually we will start working again because we are in holiday. On Sunday, I will do the role play of silent L, light L, dark L, pronounced R, and silent R. I'm going to do it in a role play, right? I will name myself as L, and I will ask my pupils to come. You are consonant, and you are vowel, and you are the last, you are the end. This is the rule of light L and dark L. So I will ask them, for example, on Sunday, I want to be light L, who can help me? So one of my students who is called vowel, yes, I can help you. I am a vowel, I can help you. You come to me and I will make you light. I want to be dark. So the end means the last letter. When L is the last letter, at the end of the word, it is dark. So the end, who is the pupil who is called the end, or the last letter, with a, yes, me, I will make you dark. Come to me. And also consonant, my name is consonant, I can make you also light. By this, they will understand the rule. They will not, it will not be complicated for them, right?
But when you plan a class like that, which sounds awesome, can I just ask you, do you think you can predict their mistakes? Can you predict what they're gonna ask, what difficulties they will have?
I cannot. According to my personal experience, I cannot.
So using L1 in the classroom can help the students learn English. You think that's completely wrong?
A big mistake.
All right. That is pretty straightforward. Not everyone. All right. So then the next let's go to the next one. Should teachers encourage students to be active participants in the classroom? I'm guessing you would say yes, because I'm saying they're not just sitting there and observing you or watching you. They're actually, you're having them employing how consonants will play a role in the classroom, how they are consonants, how they are not. How is the active student good? How do you see the student, as an active participator or not?
First, I need to go back to the previous question. We did not complete. We talk about repetition, but we forget about positive and negative reinforcement, right?
That is true. That is true. Let's go back to that one.
Yeah. So positive and negative reinforcement. This is something done in the past. Okay? Because positive reinforcement, for example, you have a pupil. I will tell him that if you reach that grade, I will give you an extra reward. I will give you, for example, potatoes. I will give you sandwich. This is just an example. I will give you £5 sterling. I will give you money. So that's, I mean, psychologically will affect that student. He will, I'm going to learn for that particular purpose. So I'm going to learn only to get a reward. Just consider this. If you stop offering reward to your student, will he achieve the desirable grade or the desirable marks? Absolutely not. Because he said, he did not give me the money, I will quit. Because learners, the major focus, they study for themselves, not for you, right? You are the guider, you are the one who provides knowledge, of course. Your responsibility is to spam your knowledge to your student, let them learn, acquire the language, but not give them a reward. If you give them a reward, you will make it as a habit, right? You did not give me a reward, I will not work. Negative, on the other side, negative reinforcements is very bad, it's worse than the first one. Because here we apply the punishment, positive and negative punishments. And this is totally wrong. Are you a teacher or are you a punisher? Choose one of them. Right? They will not be motivated, or for sure. They will not be motivated. They just study because they are scared of you.
Absolutely.
They will, stop doing that kind of negative behavior, whether speaking inside during the class, throwing something to their colleagues. If you do it by using some alternative solution, like giving them 0, minus, asking for their parents to come and make a connection between them, right? For me personally, what I prefer, if a student is talking, please come. What I was talking about. Okay, I will ask your dad to come on a particular day. I will tell him every single action you have done. He will be scared. Absolutely. I experienced this. He became scared. I encountered one student did not bring, last month, he did not brought his copybooks, his books, and just sleep inside the classroom. I saw him 2 times, and they came to him. What are you doing? Sir, I am ill. You are ill? You can go outside. How? Go to the doctor. And I will record you as an absent. Right? And he said, no, I am afraid because my parents will punish me if they saw that I am absent. All right. I make something, I want not to be overreacted. I let him say, okay, sleep as you are. Next time I need this lesson. I told him, I need this lesson to be written on your copybooks. He said, yes, it's okay. We moved forward. The next session, they did the same action. And they told him, next time, I will not, because we are not allowed, the government do not allow us to fire told him, you are fired, go outside the school, the classroom. You are no longer part of no, they told us this is wrong, and this is of course wrong. Let your students to be present in your classroom and do the appropriate solution. I told him to bring his dad. He told me, okay. I told him to bring his dad. And he told me, yes, of course, I will bring it next time. Next time, he came, but without his dad. So I wrote my report. I make it priorly ready because I knew that pupil is misbehaving, is a phenomenon, right? I cannot hit him. I cannot do nothing. I need to be positive. Yeah. I went to him and, where's your dad? He's not here, but I wrote all my lessons. I said, eventually. It's eventually you wrote all your lessons, and he brought his copybook. And when I gave him the test last week, do you know how he got? He got 12 out of 20. And I was astonished. Thanks God I made change to that pupil. He became, till now, he's participating. He's no longer sleeping inside the classroom. And I thank God that I did not call his parent. Did not talk to his parent and told him what he did. This is the excitement of teaching.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding as well, right? Understanding that your students also struggle and they have lives outside the classroom, right? That they are having stuff going on in their life, and you have to bring that up into consideration, I guess. It's amazing.
Yeah. So what I'm referring, to come up to a conclusion of this statement, we need to get rid of repetition, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, and focus on visual aids, because it will not cost time. It will give you an extra time and help you to make connection between the desirable knowledge and what students need to understand.
Okay, but when we come to visual aids, let's go to one thing. What is the goal when you're teaching? Do you think the focus is on communication, or would it be reading, or would it be writing? What do you focus most of?
For example, we use visual aids priorly in the warm-up if you have a listening task. Okay? If you have a listening task, because they are going to listen to a word, but they never understand. So I will, read the listening script for them, and point, for example, like this, point at the picture that I already stick it on the whiteboard. This is, for example, porridge. This is an apple. This is curious. This is okay. This is why I'm using the visual aids. Also, visual aids can be used to introduce a lesson after the warm-up. It means the pre-listening or pre-writing. It can be used mainly in when you have a communication skills, when you want to focus on the speaking skills. So we must use the visual aids. Or when we focus also on a pronunciation or a grammar, we need to focus on using the visual aids. I will tell you, what is apple? What is courgette? What is aubergine? So you need to to predict their questions.
Yeah, but in the long run, let's think like when you get the curriculum of the year and you look at it and you go like, okay, they're really focused on reading this year. There's a lot of books to be read, or there are a lot of exercise or grammar. They're focused. Would you say that that's more constructive than you focus on communication? Do you think, like, as a teacher, you think in the future your students will be better off if you had focused your classes on communication?
So you focus only on one particular skills. This is what you are preparing.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you if that is something to think about or not.
No. Because English is a unit. We need to focus. In order to teach, you need to listen, to teach listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
Absolutely. And then in that note, do you think should language be taught in a context? Should you always give the context of everything, and then you can approach that?
You need to be specific here. What do you mean by context?
Let me put it this way.
Context, academic context?
Yeah, I will go like, if you're going to explain the present continuous, would you bring like a text, and then within the text, would you present that, or you would present on the board? I saw you some of your videos, you go straight to the grammatical issue, and then you describe a little bit more what it goes, how it works, and everything. Do you think that if you focus with a little bit of context there, you would have a better result, or how do you see explanations?
Yeah, the use of context is mandatory. Use of resources like textbook that contains authentic language, authentic text. Like I said, the visual aids is one of the resources that you use in the context, but has to link the topic, should be relevant to the topic if you want to make a complete understanding or reach, a comprehensible outcome after the end of the lesson, at the end of the lesson, sorry. This is what I'm referring to. So using the resources, using the visual aids, using the books, text, images, whatever, in order to explain the grammar is essential. So we need to teach English in context.
Absolutely. And with that, let's suggest that the words that are most important in the English, are verbs. Let's say verbs are the most important. Do you think that they play a central role, or everything has its own role and everything should be explained, or should there be a focus on verbs?
English is like the word. It's like a global that has, for example, different countries. We make, we act or pretend that these countries are chunks or elements of language. So element of language is not only focused entirely on using the verbs. Verbs are important. Okay, yes, verbs are important, but are you able to use them in a comprehensible sentence? Are you able to use it to make cohesive or coherent meaning? Are you able? No, of course not. You need the subject. You need the noun, a part of the word. You need the adjectives, adverb, determinant, etc. So all these combine units, strong units.
Absolutely. And let's skip a little bit there because I completely agree with you. Without context, without the units relating to the verb, there is absolutely no reason only to teach verbs. But let's go a little bit when you're teaching in class and you have different students in different ages, or when you go from middle school to high school. Do you believe that there is a window of time in age in which a person can learn a language, or when the person gets old, that skill is gone?
So I will start with my personal, with my personal experience concerning the journey of learning English. Okay. So when we learn in English, we need to think psychologically. Why? Because if you do not love the language or have some kind of desire to learn a language, you're not going to learn it. You need what? You need 3 steps: desire to learn a language, determination, and patience. Because learning any kind of language, you find the difficulties in the pronunciation, in the grammar, in building or constructing a complete sentence. This is at the beginning. When you were a beginner, you will encounter these difficulties. So what you need is you need to be passionate about learning English. So there is a window only if there is a specific condition. If that person, he is totally dedicated to learn a language. He has a full determination to learn a language. He's psychologically and mentally, physically willing to learn the English language. Therefore, the result will be positive. Of course, anyone around the globe, around the world, will learn any language. You can learn Chinese, learn German, learn Portuguese, learn English, or any other languages. So this is dependable totally on the person himself.
I couldn't agree more with you on this one. And on that note, do you think like an immersive program, when the person goes abroad and he has to handle situations in the L2, especially in our case in English, is it important, this immersive approach, without any, let's say, academic So if for instance you come to Germany, as I did, and you just immerse yourself in German culture, and without any class, do you think that this is going to work? This is going to help just by immersive approach?
So let's say you don't have any prior knowledge and you immerse yourself directly.
Let's say you have a it's impossible not to have a little knowledge of English nowadays because it's absolutely everywhere, but you have let's say 1 year of English, and then you just go to Britain or America, and there you have to, I don't know, handle yourself for a couple of months before you can go back home. Do you think that this is an important niche? Do you think that the student will grow with that, or is it just going to be a waste of time?
One condition. You need to, before getting students strictly involved with the outside environments, that is probably different than their own, here difficult, because especially for beginners or even intermediates, or even, let me say to you, advanced learners, they need to have an extra, right, learning. They need to learn, because learning does not stop, especially if your language is a second, not your native. So it is an acquired, not born with you. They even need guidance. I've studied one term, a specific term that I already read it in a book that is called How to Teach English by how we call him, the writer. I forget about him.
You can send me later in the video.
Anyway, he talked about that even advanced learner can influenced by a plateau effect. What is a plateau effect? The plateau effect means every learner has to learn a language, to receive a guidance. This is the meaning. Even if he is expert in the field and speak fluent English, he needs or she needs to receive guidance, to be taught or to learn other elements. For example, learn the meaning of word, figurative of word, the idiomatic, the idioms of word. You need to understand the concepts of those words, to understand the meaning. English is not something you learn and that's it. I complete English, I learn everything. No, we still have the term that is called plateau effect. You still need to learn extra knowledge. So what I was explaining, we need to get them engaged inside the classroom, teach them about the basic according to the level, and then we allow them to be engaged with an outside environment, to talk with people who native speakers, and start engaging. This is what I believe.
No, that sounds great. So let me go to the last question, and I just want to thank you for everything that you brought to the channel today. So why is it important to learn English, in your opinion?
Yeah, very intellectual question. English, why you did not say why French is important? Why German is important? You are answering at the same time. You are, telling yourself that English is important, right? Because English nowadays is the mother tongue of all nations. Especially in Algeria. Not only teachers. Let me, for instance, entrepreneur, he wants to make, to make a trading exchange with foreign company. That foreign company, regardless their nationality, they surely and absolutely speak and use the English language. They will communicate with him by using the English language. Every trademarks, every partnership, or any trade that any company that would make, they need to negotiate, communicate by using the English language. So English is not strictly, used in the academic context. It can be used in a business, can be used in a trading, as I explained, can be used as a general for traveling. This is the meaning of general, to use it English as general for general purpose, in order to communicate with people in the airport, with people outside in the street, because I need to learn English in order to comprehend, in order to know the ways, in order to understand documents. So you need English.
Absolutely. Elias, I just want to thank you once again for participating here today. It was a pleasure listening to your ideas and your thoughts on our profession, which I absolutely adore. And I think that if we have more and more people that we can see on YouTube and other platforms just talking about our job, we will always grow. So I would like to, if you can offer a last comment to our viewers.
The pleasure is mine. The idea of getting contact with other ESL teachers is excellent idea. It's help us to virtually exchange knowledge and look for potential solution in the object to develop our pupils. Regardless of their nationality or regardless where they live. The purpose is to help learners to acquire English, to speak it fluently, and this is it.